집 means home. 밥 means meal. Jibbap is the Korean word for home-cooked meal. Recently, Americans are said to be preferring home-cooked meals over eating out. And with the already growing interest in K-food, this trend is expected to present new opportunities for the Korean food market. Let's talk more about this with Robert Koo, a specialist in food studies and Korean American studies. Welcome, Mr. Koo.
Welcome, Mr. Koo.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So we did talk to you over the line online before, but now we're having you here in person. So great to meet you here in the studio. So first and foremost, could you tell us maybe what's the recent jibbap you had recently?
Myself? Oh, let's see. The last meal I cooked before coming to Korea last week, I think I cooked some chicken with cilantro. It's a Middle Eastern dish with some green olives. It's like a tagine with some basmati rice.
Oh. And what maybe some other home-style cooked foods that you ate here after coming to Korea recently?
You know, since arriving in Korea, I've not had the opportunity to have any home-cooked meals because all my friends and colleagues tend to want to take me out to places that that they enjoy, new places. There's so many amazing restaurants in Seoul, so I've been mostly eating out.
Okay, but you know that there are also many restaurants that actually have jibbap. So you go to a restaurant but eat kind of home-style food. Yes.
Yeah. Last night I went to have some galbitang. Not galbitang. I'm sorry. Gamjatang.
Okay.
Which was sort of a very home-style restaurant.
Okay.
Especially in the countryside, sometimes you go to what looks like a person's house, and it's a restaurant actually, and it turns out just to be sort of more home family-style meals, but it's actually a restaurant.
Right.
But Mr. Koo, how would you compare the differences between, let's say, home-cooked meals in, let's say, the US or California and in Korea?
Yeah, that's a hard question only because in the United States is such a large country with so many different types of people, different backgrounds, and different states and cities, and I'm sure similar to Korea. But generally, I think recently, because of the prices of groceries becoming so expensive, I think people are even thinking second thoughts about maybe does it save money to cook at home? But when they do, in terms of Korean food, the options available for a home cook to cook Korean food now is greater than ever. So that's been very exciting. The H-Marts are opening up in many big cities, so a lot of opportunities for American home cooks to, I think, experiment, if they haven't before, with Korean food.
Right, and H-Mart, of course, referring to Korean grocery store, the big ones. And recently, so do you see that preference actually for cooking at home over eating out in the US? Do you see that happening around you?
I think people always want to eat at home, but it's never that practical oftentimes because people have busy lives. They have to work, they have to take care of kids. And then cooking can be very time-consuming. Also, cleaning after is time-consuming. And so I think a lot of people tend to be eating out. But when they cook at home, because, once again, talking about Korean food, because there are now so many products that are sort of semi-cooked, that all you have to do is heat it up, or you just include it in a simple meal at home. So I think you have all different types of approach to preparing a home meal.
Let's stay on that subject of those home meals or the ones that you put in the microwave, quickly heat it up. Frozen kimbap has been a big thing these days. Have you seen, obviously, the growing interest in Korean meal kits, frozen food, sauces, etc.? Have you seen actually yourself when you go to the grocery stores or just, maybe amongst your friends as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think more so than people cooking Korean food, non-Korean, say, cooking Korean food at home by scratch. I think most are cooking using these sort of semi-prepared products. So CJ Foods and Bibigo is one example of a company whose products now appear throughout the country nationally, even in stores that you may not think make sense. So not make sense, even smaller markets. And so in small rural areas where my mother lives in the state of Georgia, I went to visit her, and in the local grocery store, there were Bibigo products. And of course, in Los Angeles, it's just everywhere.
Right. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, I really like it how in Korea, when you have those meal kits, they have those levels, level 1, 2, or 3, depending on how hard it is to cook or how easy it is to cook those meal kits. Do they have the same categories or descriptions in the US? I was just wondering.
I think they're starting to, but it's not that detailed just yet. But it's a matter of time, I think, because it seems a lot of the trends that are established here in South Korea, eventually, if it becomes popular enough, comes over to the U.S.
And that'll make it even more easier and more approachable to cook these Korean foods. And also speaking about trends, many people learn about Korean food and Korean recipes through social media these days. So could you tell us a little bit about those kind of contents?
Yeah, I mean, I personally learned how to cook Korean food because I cooked all my life, not all my life, most of my life. But I've rarely cooked Korean until recently, until the time of COVID, actually. When COVID happened, I started to watch Baek Jong-won on YouTube. And so I cooked about 20 of his recipes, and I learned how to cook Korean through him. But now what I'm sensing is TikTok is the most powerful social medium for people who want to, younger people, I think, who want to learn to cook various foods. And I'm seeing so much K content, KFood appearing on TikTok more than ever. And those TikTok oftentimes feature shorter clips of how to prepare, which I think appeals to younger folks more.
Right.
But it's amazing the variety of the types of Korean food that is depicted or that is represented. It's both on the one end, hanshik, and the other end, bunchik. You know, things like ramen and corn dogs and so forth. So you have the whole spectrum, I think, right now being very much becoming popular in the US.
I love to save those videos of those 1-minute recipes. It looks like it takes a minute, but actually it doesn't really take a minute.
A long time. Especially with certain Korean foods as well. And I know that, well, food is universal, right? It doesn't bound by language. It bounds, you know, just by looking at something. And the TikTok videos are very, very common these days. And they, you know, everyone loves to use them as their recipe book now. So it's great. But let's keep to the subject of, let's say, trends. Or maybe you saw just before that we were talking a little bit about K-pop demon hunters, all right? So there's other challenges that have been sort of spawning from K-pop demon hunters, one including the, it's called the Kimbap One-Shot Challenge or something, and has gone viral due to the movie itself. How much are K-movies or K-dramas affecting or influencing the popularity of Korean food, do you think?
I think it has a tremendous effect and influence. Perhaps more so than any other factor, because for the past, I would say, 10 years, especially, and more recently with Netflix, providing so much K content. There are so many programs on Netflix that's K-food themed. Not only documentaries. There's a whole Rhapsody series and Nation of series that feature all kinds of Korean foods. But there's also now Korean dramas and competition shows. So I would say in the past couple of years, certainly Culinary Class Wars was a viral runaway hit among many people in the US. And of course, the K-pop demon hunters, for different reasons and also including more different types of audiences, have been a bigger influence. And also recently, Bon Appetit, My Majesty with Yuna.
Right.
I think that's also been a very big popular hit. And if you add all those up, there's a general real excitement about anything Korean related right now. Some may think it's maybe too much, it's overplayed, especially parents of like 10-year-olds who want to hear, Golden over and over again. But overall, I think this is for me, an unprecedented moment where haven't seen so much interest in anything, all things Korean, such as now.
It is amazing how we see, for instance, I remember how you earlier told us about Attorney Woo, how Kimbap was a big appearance in there, and now we see it over and over again. And finally, before we let you go, I would like to ask you for a recommendation of a Jibbap for all our global viewers. What would that be?
Recommendation for, you mean for global viewers to be making at home themselves?
Yes.
You know, as a Korean American who grew up, I was born in Korea, but I grew up in Hawaii. Spam has always been a big, important food for me. So I would say for someone who's brand new to cooking Korean food, there's nothing better than kimchi and spam fried rice.
Easy to make
and
very delicious.
Delicious, and you can fancy it up. You can add additional ingredients, or you can keep it simple. So I would say there are probably hundreds of recipes of spam and kimchi fried rice. So that would be the beginning, I think, for me.
Right. Probably our viewers can now search it on social media to find some spam and kimchi menus. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Gu, for joining us today on the program, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It was enjoyable.
Thank you. And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to have you back here tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.